The royal family just delivered the coldest punishment imaginable, and it didn't come with a press conference, a screaming scandal, or even a public statement. It came with silence, dead silence, an invitation that never arrived. A wedding Harry once would have walked into laughing beside his cousins has now become the clearest proof yet that the Sussexes are no longer just unpopular inside palace walls, they are unwanted, completely frozen out. And the date now haunting Montecito is June 6th.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have just been banned from this year's major royal wedding. And it is a particular humiliation for the so-called Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
Well, let's start with Meghan and Harry because they've been snubbed by their family.
This is a brutal snub.
Meghan Markle has just had a date night with a Finnish man who has been accused of both sexual harassment and racism.
Meghan Markle come speak at an event for bullying when she's one of the biggest bullies, in my opinion.
Meghan Markle has rebranded yet again. But is it I have a headache chic or modern domestic snobbery?
June 6th was supposed to be another quiet royal family celebration. Peter Phillips marrying Harriet Sperling in a beautiful Cotswold village church. Small, intimate, elegant. The kind of event where the family lowers its guard because everyone inside the room is trusted. But one name missing from that guest list detonated the entire internet. Harry. And not just Harry, Meghan too. No invitation, no negotiation, no maybe later, nothing. Suddenly, people realized this was no longer a temporary family feud. This was exile. Permanent exile disguised as polite British manners. Because when the royal family truly cuts you off, they do not scream. They simply continue life without you. And that is exactly what is happening now.
Because Harry's cousin, Philippe, it's Philip, I'm calling him Philippe.
Makes him more glamorous, doesn't it?
Yeah, much more glamorous, much more exotic. He's getting married, his second one. Nothing wrong with that. Second marriage is normally the best ones.
That's exactly
so I hear.
Right. Second time lucky.
Second time lucky. He's getting married to a lovely Harriet, and Harry and Meghan have been snubbed. They've been pushed out.
Look at the guest list. King Charles, Queen Camilla, William and Catherine, Edward and Sophie, Zara and Mike Tyndall. Even Beatrice and Eugenie reportedly welcomed back despite the radioactive fallout surrounding Prince Andrew this year. Think about that carefully. The York sisters survived the Epstein disaster cloud surrounding their father and still remain inside the royal circle. But Harry, Diana's son, the prince who once stood shoulder to shoulder with William as the future emotional face of the monarchy, gone. Erased from the room like he never existed. That is not an oversight. That is a message. And the cruelest part is Peter Phillips was not some distant relative Harry barely knew. This was family, the kind built over decades of funerals, holidays, drinking nights, and private jokes nobody else heard.
Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Because Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, who you might think are just a little bit more toxic at the moment, will be there. And actually, I do think this puts pay to some of the suggestions that there is this type of reconciliation going on between the fake royals and the real royals. Let's just leave King Charles to one side. I think the young royals absolutely have no contact with Harry and Meghan anymore.
Peter literally stood between William and Harry at Prince Philip's funeral because the family feared the brothers could not even stand near each other without tension exploding. Imagine how catastrophic things must be now if the same cousin who once acted as a human shield between them has decided Harry cannot even attend his wedding.
The thing about Peter Phillips that's really interesting is that he was incredibly close to both brothers. And you will remember at the funeral of Prince Philip, when there were so many concerns about Prince William and Harry being in close vicinity of each other, he was chosen to stand between them.
These men grew up together. Balmoral summers, Sandringham Christmases, weddings, parties, shared grief after Diana's death. Harry attended Peter's first wedding. Peter attended Harry and Meghan's wedding in 2018. So when palace-friendly magazines suddenly started pushing the line that they had simply lost touch, people laughed out loud because nobody loses touch with family like this accidentally. You cut contact deliberately. You create distance intentionally, especially inside a family where trust has become more valuable than blood.
This is a brutal snub. This is a wild slap in the face. Harry will be devastated. Now, it's not certain that the couple would have attended. We've got that nonsense about their security, which to me is total fake news, considering the couple travel the world, go to lots of other dangerous places without armed cops. But that aside, that's the excuse for them not coming to the UK yet together as a family.
And while Harry was reportedly processing this brutal rejection, Meghan was thousands of miles away in Switzerland trying to stage what many believed was supposed to be her triumphant solo rebrand. No Harry beside her, no royal family. Just Meghan Markle stepping onto the world stage as a serious humanitarian voice, speaking about online safety and protecting children. But almost instantly, everything started collapsing. The crowds were thin, painfully thin. Social media exploded with side-by-side comparisons between Meghan's Geneva appearance and Catherine's Italy trip happening the same week. Catherine had screaming crowds pressed against barriers, cameras flashing nonstop. Meghan had empty pavement and random people walking past like they were late for the bus. One viral image became symbolic of the entire disaster, Meghan passionately delivering a speech while a woman behind her casually adjusted her outfit without even looking at her. Another woman was reportedly literally waiting at a nearby bus stop. The internet turned merciless overnight. Then came the photo scandal that detonated whatever remained of the event's positive press. Meghan smiling beside Finnish politician Ville Ridman, a man buried under allegations involving harassment claims and leaked racist messages. Suddenly, headlines exploded everywhere. Critics demanded to know how Meghan, who carefully brands herself as a defender of women and racial justice, ended up grinning in selfies beside someone carrying that kind of controversy. Her team scrambled instantly. They insisted she did not know who he was. They said she politely takes photos with attendees all the time. But the damage was already done because perception is everything in royal warfare, and this perception was catastrophic. And then Meghan made a move so shocking even royal watchers could barely believe the timing. 24 hours after delivering speeches condemning the dangers of social media culture, she flooded Instagram with never-before-seen wedding photos from 2018. The timing felt surgical, calculated, almost desperate. Suddenly, intimate kisses, private reception moments, emotional embraces flooded the internet. Commentators immediately noticed how physical and theatrical the selected images were. Not restrained royal elegance, passion, performance, attention. Some royal critics even described the entire photo release as less of an anniversary tribute and more of a warning shot aimed directly at Harry himself. The most explosive image Meghan posted that week was not even from the wedding album. It was the photo inside the giant luxury wardrobe, the one with her daughter sitting near her feet while designer clothing surrounded them wall to wall. That single image triggered absolute chaos online because critics instantly accused Meghan of turning motherhood into branding material while simultaneously lecturing the public about protecting children from media exposure. And once Angela Levin publicly dissected the photograph, things spiraled even further. She claimed the child appeared deliberately positioned to avoid showing her face, almost trained to stay invisible. Then viewers started obsessing over every tiny detail, the posture, the hair, the foot positioning. Suddenly, the internet was treating one Instagram upload like a crime scene investigation. And then came the theory that truly sent palace watchers into meltdown. Multiple commentators began claiming several outfits visible inside Meghan's wardrobe strongly resembled Princess Diana's iconic clothing pieces. That rumor spread like wildfire, because if Meghan is genuinely planning a Diana-inspired fashion or lifestyle brand, people believe William will take that as a direct declaration of war. Diana is not just memory inside that family. She is sacred territory. William has protected his mother's image with almost terrifying intensity for years. The idea that Meghan could monetize anything remotely connected to Diana while simultaneously remaining frozen out of the family would absolutely ignite fury behind palace doors. But here is where the story becomes darker and more revealing. Royal insiders believe the wedding snub was never really about old arguments or bruised feelings anymore. It was about fear, genuine fear. Fear that every private conversation becomes content. Every interaction becomes material for documentaries, interviews, podcasts, memoirs, or strategic leaks. The family no longer sees Harry and Meghan as relatives. They see them as cameras with human faces attached. That paranoia did not appear out of nowhere. Spare happened. Oprah happened. Netflix happened. Private text messages became global headlines. Family arguments became monetized storytelling. And now people close to the institution reportedly believe no event is emotionally safe once the Sussexes enter the room. Imagine Peter Phillips trying to have a peaceful, intimate wedding while wondering whether a casual private conversation could later appear in Spare 2 or some future streaming project. Suddenly, the exclusion starts making brutal sense. Even commentators who once defended Harry are beginning to admit the pattern is impossible to ignore. The Duke of Westminster's wedding already established the precedent. Harry stayed away. William stood proudly at the center of the event. Now, Peter Phillips' wedding confirms it was not temporary damage control. This is the new structure of the royal family going forward. William and Catherine inside, Harry and Meghan outside looking through the glass. And while the monarchy appears to be stabilizing publicly, the Sussex empire looks increasingly chaotic. Meghan's lifestyle brand keeps mutating every few months into a completely different identity. One minute it is luxury California elegance, then organic homemaking, then Montecito garden authenticity, then Hollywood glamour again. Critics say the constant reinvention reveals panic underneath the branding. Nothing feels stable because nothing is connecting with audiences consistently. The promotional videos became instant meme material online. Meghan slowly smelling flowers. Meghan staring dramatically at jam jars while wearing tens of thousands of dollars in jewelry. Meghan trying to present herself as relatable while standing inside borrowed kitchens and carefully staged Netflix-style sets. Even some former supporters admitted the performances felt strangely artificial. Too polished to feel genuine. Too luxurious to feel relatable, yet somehow still trying to sell simplicity. And financially, the math reportedly makes even less sense. Luxury buyers allegedly view the brand as tacky celebrity merchandise. Regular supporters cannot realistically spend hundreds on candles, spreads, and curated pantry boxes, which leaves Meghan trapped in the worst branding position possible, selling exclusivity to people who cannot afford it while failing to impress the wealthy audience she actually wants. Meanwhile, the Hollywood friendships that once surrounded the Sussexes appear to be quietly evaporating. Oprah has become distant. The Clooneys faded away. Obama world reportedly cooled dramatically. The glamorous power network that once embraced Harry and Meghan after Megxit now seems exhausted by the constant controversy cycle. An elite circle's reputation is oxygen, and many insiders believe the Sussex brand now suffocates everyone standing too close to it. And that is why June 6th matters so much. Because while Peter Phillips and Harriet Sperling celebrate quietly inside a church surrounded by smiling royals, the absence itself becomes the headline. Harry missing from a cousin's wedding tells the public more than any palace statement ever could. William will stand there looking increasingly like the future king. Catherine will appear radiant beside him. Charles will project fragile family unity. And somewhere in California, Harry will reportedly watch photographs of a family he once belonged to moving forward without him.